Ain't up on this topic.
You ain't up on it? You know, sis, you a black man.
I'm a black
Black
male.
man. A black man. What's going on, brother? Did you test? How you test for the COVID thing?
Ain't no test, man. Test is at home kicking it.
You see, you black. That's a black man right there. Damn, going to the doctor.
I feel
Don't you,
fine.
doctor?
I feel
I feel
amazing.
wonderful.
Right.
I feel awesome.
I feel amazing. They told me 10 days. I think it's 10 days.
So
We're
you
going
know.
to see what happens.
So yeah, this day what?
Oh, shit. This is probably day 10.
Okay. So yeah, you ain't no symptoms or nothing.
Nah.
Good. That is awesome.
Yeah, I was just taking some precautions because of some house guests, but
We came over there bringing you all that,
yeah,
all that
all
filth.
kind of gifts, all kind of gifts.
Cooties. Bring you the cooties. Oh, 1 second. I'm trying to set something up. Setting it up. Anyway, January the 10th.
Mm.
So let's get you before we get in this topic. Let's get your take on last week's events.
I don't know what you're talking about. What events are you are you speaking
You
to?
you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't really have a take on it. It's crazy. I mean, well, what can you say about it? I think it's more to it. It looked way too easy for what happened to happen. But you know, I'm not even gonna go too deep in that. But yeah, that's the times we are in. That's the new form of protest. It's to break in, and well, I can't even say they broke in. Uh, you know,
So since it's not the top, I don't have any videos. I was gonna have videos. You're not on
right?
social media, so you haven't seen all the videos. So
Nah, I seen the one I keep saying is when they had the police shield breaking out the window. I'm like, is it that easy to break out a doggone window at the Capitol? But yeah, that's the only one. I did see the one when the lady got shot though. I saw that.
okay, yeah, that one was very that's all over the place. Um
Yeah.
there's one. Did you see the one where the lady, her name is Elizabeth, and she gave her name and where she was from?
Oh no, she was
Okay.
representing. So she
Yeah.
represented.
So yeah, she represented dog. Look, so this how it went. I'm gonna play the video. We can talk about this next week, you know.
Okay.
So and I'm gonna play the videos that I have for that because I have there's a bunch of videos. Um, so it goes like this. What happened? What happened? I was in the Capitol and they pushed me out and they maced me. You're like, okay, what's your name? Elizabeth. Where you from? I can't remember where she's from. I want to say West Virginia.
Oh my
That's
goodness. So
right.
she laid it down.
Arkansas, maybe Arkansas. Yeah, why was you in there? It's a revolution. Like it was, man. It
Well, if you break into the Capitol, you earned a right to get maced. I mean,
but but
that,
but
that's
well,
kind of
I'm
how it
not even
works.
tell you what my take on it. I'm gonna wait till I play the video. But it it was something. It was something to see. Something to see.
You pulling it up now?
No. I'm not gonna pull up. No,
Oh, okay. I was like, man, let me check this
no,
out.
I'm not doing that. We'll do it next week because I don't want to get way off topic because like I don't want to be. We're gonna do this because next week there'll be a change of the guards. Next week, no, it won't be.
It's the week
Right
after.
before. It'll be right before. Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, going into that, yeah, we could do that. Going into it because I just have to pull the videos together and clip it and stuff, and just so it won't be a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm gonna edit it. Um,
Gotcha.
so the topic this week, we're talking about code switching. Like last week, we talked about Negro androphobia,
There
which
you
is
go.
the fear of black men. So how and that's how white society looks at black men. Now we're talking about how black men react to that fear that white people have of black men, which is what they do code switching,
Okay.
uh, which is a terminology in programming. Is in programming basically.
That's- yeah, that term is new for me.
Oh, it's new.
So
Yeah. It's a programming term to where when you and I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I'm tripping.
yeah, hey, no need to apologize.
Yeah, 1 second. So yeah. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I had the told you I was doing the little book thing, and I had the photographer came over a little while ago.
Oh,
I didn't get everything set back up, but yeah, I guess I look okay. Yeah, but that's a terminology in programming. When you program computers, it's that's what they do. They have to switch the code. Like if you go from iOS to Android to whatever, well, it was
gotcha.
Macintosh back in the day. It was Macintosh when they used to do coding. Macintosh and IBM or Windows um, switch codes or whatever. But that's what, like, you see the title, "Code Switching: The Black Man's Key to Survival." I had some stuff here which I misplaced in my but
Well, you're a busy man. I mean, you doing book covers. You got a lot going on, bro.
well,
You a
it's not
lot to
really. I just
misplace.
be featured in it. It's not a book cover. I ain't balling.
Oh,
I ain't balling.
hey, 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 let me exaggerate on you a little bit. Yeah, you're doing book covers and
No.
everything.
Don't do that. I don't want to be like somebody else. I'm the smartest man. I'm very, very smart. Yeah, I'm not doing that. No,
Okay.
I'm doing a little something, small balling. Um, but it was I was reading up on the book I was showing you last week. I just went through and
Hmm.
skimming through it and just reading through some chapters and came up with something that they were talking about how back in the 80s, 1984, a guy wrote an article. It was a 3-part article, 4-part article, whatever it is, called "The Mind Fixers." Uh,
Mm.
John Franklin, 1984. He won a Pulitzer for that in 1985. Um, what it was about was basically schizophrenia, um, Alzheimer's, all that. The problems with the mind and how can they control that, stop it, or make it happen. So they mentioned something about black males in the inner city, the inner city youth, basically young black males and aggression, and it was based on a study that they were doing back in the '60s, how to stop black men from rioting, basically,
From
rioting.
rioting.
Yeah, basically, because during the '60s we had the marches and all that other stuff. So they
Right.
wanted to figure out like the mind of a black male.
The mind of a black male.
Yes, what you?
Yes, sir. What you?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, there we
Hello?
go.
I'm getting feedback. I guess I can't hear you now. I hear myself. I was hearing myself.
It's 4:09 p.m. To hear your
That's
notification,
all.
follow the notification on your phone.
Okay, he's come back. But anyway, it was they were studying black men and how to control their minds, how to stop them from having aggression, and how to make them have aggression. There was a Dr. Frederick that was a psychic, Dr. Frederick Goodwin, that was a psychic engineer, and he spoke on it. Um, this ailments of the mind, and he likened. Um, Hell, I'm waiting for him to come back. He likened the depression. He likened all the ailments, bigotry. He even named bigotry actually, um, which is interesting to me that he would name bigotry as being an ailment of the mind. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, wow, that actually is. When we look at what happened this past week, um, somebody, 1 second, y'all. All right.
All right.
No. Whatever happened over there with you. Wait, that's all?
That's all.
Speak. All right, go ahead, talk. I don't hear myself no more. Go ahead. No, speak. See, he didn't get. They didn't gave you some of the drugs. They didn't mess with your mind. Um, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I guess. Anyway, once he gets that fixed, he'll get back on. But so, like I said, it was strange that they said that bigotry was one of the things that was like an ailment of the mind. And like I said, we just saw something that happened, and just based on the stuff you heard, if you ever watched any videos from what happened this past week, some of the stuff they were saying, some of the stuff they believe that was said to them, or that they took from the commander in chief. They actually believe it was going on. They actually believe what we were saying. They believe that they were going to do something about this, and it was going to matter. These are not people that are well in the head. Um, so I'm getting off topic once again, but back to code switching. So ever since, like I said last week, Negro androphobia. Ever since we came to this country, we've been feared as black men. Um, so fast forward to the present, to the modern times, the fact that we were feared, um, we had to do something to, I guess, ease the people that were looking at us, ease their minds, make them feel better about dealing with them. We see that play out when we see the cops, with the cops shooting and everything with black men. When they get aggressive, they're it's easy to shoot them. They're looked at as being a threat just because they're black. I can't I can't I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you. So so try to talk. But yeah, he's gonna come back in. He's gonna mess with his microphone. Um, there was a study. There was a study done that they asked people about. They put a black person and a white person together, black man and a white man, and they asked them who seems bigger and who seems more frightening. Majority of the time, it was the it was the black man that everybody said looked bigger and more frightening, and they end up being the same size, the same weight, and everything. But because of the mindset that people have, the fears, the biases, and everything, the stereotypes that they hear about, it makes them believe that the black man is more dangerous, more bigger, more badder. I can't remember the guy's the gentleman's name. I should have looked it up. But when a guy was stopped by a cop up in Sacramento, I think it was, and they had a guy in the helicopter and reporting it, and the reporter was from the helicopter. Now, oh, he's a big dude. He looks like a bad dude or whatever. The man was just standing up there with the hands up. That's all. His hands was up, backing away from the woman. But he looks like a bad dude, and she shot him and killed him. So based on those fears, based on the stuff that media tries to portray us as, um, it 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 makes it a survival tactic in a black man's arsenal to code switch, to try to make them feel say speak.
Hey, can you hear me?
There we go. All
Hey,
right,
man,
100.
my equipment is temperamental, man. I don't know what's going on with this stuff. It was working 100% before the
Before I say live.
yeah, before you went live, and the next thing you know, it just did its own thing, man. But go ahead,
How
I'm
dare you try
following
to talk about stuff? How dare you?
you. Right, right.
You got some white equipment over
Must be some white headphones. Oh man,
But yeah, when I was speaking on the fact that we have to, in order for a survival tactic, we have to use that code switch in our arsenal, everyday situations.
right.
would you like to relay something that you feel
Uh,
you code switch or?
well, I briefly I touched on it last week. I remember bringing it up that how we sometimes alter our behavior because of the scenario or whatever. I've grown to the fact that now I no longer do that. At least not consciously. You know, I make an effort to be who I am unapologetically, and people just gonna really have to just deal with it. You know, accept me the way I am. But I do look at it. I see it as a survival mechanism for many guys, depending on the scenario that they're in. You know, as far as you just introduced me to the whole term of code switching, but I can see it definitely as a survival mechanism to get by or to get through a situation, depending on how dire it could be.
Mhm.
That's a nice cup you got there, buddy.
Yeah, just gonna show off. Y'all want to know where to get one of these? Just hit me up and I'll put the information. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's kind of, but yeah, there's a lot of. It's too so shiny. You see all the back,
Yeah,
but yeah, can't
so
really.
icy.
Yeah, it's shiny over here. Yeah, but that's something like when think about this, like when you're in the elevator and there's a white woman in the elevator and she clutching her purse, and you kind of try to make yourself seem smaller than you are. There was a
Right,
lot of things that black men tend to do. The workforce, which black women do that also in certain instances. I'm not saying that black women don't do it. The reason why I titled the way it is because the key to survival is the main part that I'm talking about in
hmm,
code switch. More times a black man will be um looked at as a threat and something's done to him physically,
right,
physical harm done to him based on how they perceive him versus a female. They might think something of her, but they don't feel like she's a threat to where they have to fear for their life.
right.
So, and it brings back up the term we did last week. That brings up that term. So, because of that, we feel we have to do something different. Um,
Hmm. And I remember going through that. You in a certain scenario, you feel like, let me make people around me feel comfortable. But when that's not really my job, my task, my requirement is to make people around me feel comfortable. That's something they have to deal with. So I had to train myself to stop doing that. You know, it's not up to me to make everybody else feel the way they feel comfortable. The fact that you are afraid or uncomfortable just because of my presence says a lot about you as an individual, you as a person. So
no, I agree with that. Also in our personal life. So, um, so we have to. I don't want to say. I don't want to. I don't want no DMs. I don't want. I don't want
say, let's hear.
to do it. I don't do it. Maybe better this year. So, yeah. Now in your personal life too, like it's you want to be your own person. You want to be who you are.
Mhm,
But I feel in society you have to be a certain person in society. You have to be a certain person when you come home, dealing with somebody in your household.
mhm.
Uh, the only time as a black man you can actually be yourself, and this is not all the time either. You go to the barber shop, you round, you can actually like loosen your belt and just sit there and
Yeah,
and be comfortable in your surroundings.
right. There's no
But
threat
you're not
there.
being judged. Yeah. Yeah, being judged is you're not supposed to think that, you're not supposed to say that.
Right.
Um
Anything goes in the barbershop. It's no wrong in the barbershop as far as an
and,
opinion.
y'all could discuss it. If it is, y'all could discuss it and you
Right.
can
You talk
back
about it.
and forth. But
Yeah, but you're allowed to say whatever.
yeah, and it's not the same weight. That's what it is. You don't feel like you're being
Judge.
scrutinized
Yeah.
at every time you open your mouth. Like, okay, you're not supposed to say that. You're not. It's we're in a, especially in the place we're at. Like I don't know. Did you feel pre social media and all this other stuff? Do you feel the same way? The same that you had to do the same thing. Well, you're not on social media, so you can't speak on that aspect. But I'm just saying,
Mm-mm.
the effect.
But people are hypersensitive now.
Yeah, hypersensitivity. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Even with me not being on social media, it's like any different opinion is you automatically you're evil, you're bad, you need to be canceled. I think that's a new thing, that whole cancel culture. But we have I think social media has forced us to we have very little room for other voices if it doesn't follow along with what we believe or what we say. So we
Well, the main belief of everybody, the majority, it's all
hmm
about the majority. Whatever they think is best, or whatever they think is
right.
hot and popping at the time.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous road to approach because it gets to the point of censorship and where people are afraid to say exactly who they are or believe what they want to believe, out of fear of what somebody may think of them or what may happen to them later on down the road.
Yeah, and from that comes certain things like the terminology they try to use against people, toxic
hmm
masculinity,
Yeah,
different terms they throw out to
to,
basically
to
shaming tactics.
yeah to silence people.
Yeah, the silence. So and I see that a lot when I look at TV, certain shows that might be geared to women per se.
hmm
Uh, you'll see men kind of that like that they were one type of man. Like let's say a football player, like he's a football player, he's used to whatever. Now you see him, all polished and soft. He got to do this to get paid. You know,
Yeah,
he has to do this. So he's more appeasing to the viewers, which majority of the time it's the white viewers and women viewers that you're trying to appease to.
I'm glad you pointed that out because let's be honest, who these shows are catered to. They're catered to certain genders and certain races, and black men are normally not considered to be their top what you want to call it, their top pick of who they want to cater their shows to. Because for one, we don't have the economic power. We don't spend the money that a lot of these other genders do. So that's what the shows are pointed
Well,
at.
we do. I mean,
We
actually,
have it, but we
do,
don't spend it that way.
but we do. It's harder to tap into something to get us to spend our money.
That's right.
Like the way to get a man, and this is in general, people. We talk about generalization. The way to get a man to spend his money is through a female. If you if I put a commercial up in a car commercial, right? And I have in the car, this guy have a Cadillac, whatever Escalade, the newest Cadillac Escalade, and the women looking at him, all the women down the street looking at him,
Oh
trying to
yeah.
see who he is to get out. Oh, girl, look, that is gonna make a guy like, oh shit, I want to be the
I need an
man.
Escalade. That's right. I
Yeah,
need
I
an
need
Escalade.
an Escalade. Yeah, or Gucci or whatever. First of all, Gucci don't never. We do that. We the one that put that on Gucci. Gucci don't have no damn commercials where they. We
They
the one.
don't advertise at all. Gucci
No,
does not advertise.
that's something
We're
we
their biggest advertisers.
exactly. But that's what advertising is for, and we don't understand that. If they put a black man in a certain situation on a commercial, they are trying to control our minds through images of success and how people look at us. Um,
hmm
and that's how they do it. It's just we don't want to believe we're being controlled, but you know,
But we are. If you
we
if
are.
if you don't recognize it, you definitely gonna be controlled. And even when you do recognize it, I tell myself, I give myself the leeway. I understand what's going on right here. I'm being dictated to, but I'm gonna allow it this time because I really want this item. I'm actually, so
I
so
know
I
it's
know
happening, but you
I know it's
do
happening, but I'm giving
not
permission
next
for
time.
it to happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the last time. Don't let this
it
this
gonna
won't
happen
this won't
again.
happen again. But it's one thing to know, then it's another thing to not understand that and just follow blindly, all the advertisements and things
And,
like that.
I think majority of people don't know that. They really don't see it. And we got
Mm-mm.
somebody coming up saying something, um, like let's say music for example, like the type of music they pump on radio stations.
No,
Um,
don't get me
let's go to
started.
that. Yeah, yeah. When he, yeah, about to get you started. When you get to a certain type of music they pump on radio stations, they know the target audience. They know exactly what it's going to do, what it's promoting in his music. If it was something that was promoting positivity, they're going to shy away from that more times than they're going to shy away from
hmm
that. They know, okay, for most part, generalization, black people want to be entertained. They want to have a good time. They want to hear something that's promiscuous. They want to hear something that promotes drug usage. They have focus groups on this type of stuff.
Oh
And
yeah.
as much as we say, and as much as I don't want to believe that that's all we are, that's all we're going to focus on, the majority of us is going to focus on this type of stuff. And
It
it's gonna
works.
run.
It's a
Yeah.
reason they keep doing because it works, because it is profitable. So
Mhm.
the only way to change that is to change ourselves,
Yeah.
But
And,
they
and
do
and
it
that's
for a
what
reason.
we have to start sending a message that, okay, yeah, the song might sound good, but we don't want to hear that. Like,
All
we
right.
don't want our kids to. Shout out to Cardi B, right? They try to give her blowback about saying that she don't let her daughter listen to a song WAP, right?
Hmm.
Shout out to her. She stood her grounds. She understands what music does to people. She understands that, she don't want her daughter thinking the hoes in the house and become a hoe in the
Right.
house. She don't want to do that.
Right.
So she keeps that away from her daughter. She don't let her daughter listen to her. So we have to understand that that type of control happens
Mm.
um, when we allow our kids or we allow ourselves to take in certain things, and that's actually code switching that we don't know about. That's something inadvertent. Code switching. We start to take certain views based on what we only see. We only see one certain viewpoint, and we start to shift.
It becomes ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how that works. If you see something enough, it's about. I'm glad you brought up the music industry, because that's what happens with a lot of the popular music. They play it enough to where it becomes a part of your psyche.
Mhm.
You have no choice but to enjoy it. You almost it by yourself liking it out of
Yeah.
torture. So you're
Force
forced into it. Yeah.
Yeah, how many times have you heard a song like, I don't really care about that song, and they play it over and over and over and over again? Oh man, it's mind control pretty much.
It's exactly what it is. And if you don't understand it, you will be controlled. I've had that happen to me several times. Like, oh, that's not really my song, and then I finally hear it say out somewhere else. I'm like, oh, I start bobbing to it for no reason. I'm like, man, I just said I hated this song.
Now I'm gonna tell you when it happened for men though. I noticed this happen. This is wild. When in my 20s, right? I noticed
Okay.
this happen. I'm listening to music and I'm like, that's not really a hot song. I don't really care about. Then I go to strip club and I see a woman dancing to it. Then you're like,
It
oh shit,
changes everything.
it changes everything because I saw the woman bust it open to the song and now I'm in the car, rocking to the song. You're like,
Like,
okay,
yeah,
but
I can
that's
relate now.
yeah,
I can.
I can relate. I got a visual image to go with this damn song, and we don't understand that. That's human nature. I mean, that's just something human
Mhm. And
nature. And go ahead.
it's easy, and it's been done on multiple levels. And it's my thing is, I don't have a problem with people doing it. I just want the I'm calling them victims. They're not really victims. I want the people who is being done to recognize what's going on. If you willingly go along with it and you know what's happening, then that's called free will. But
Yeah,
when you don't understand that you're being, like I said, dictated to, a control, brainwash, whatever the case may be, then it's kind of sinister when you look at it that way.
I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, I was about to bring up another place that happens in mass in our community. Um, well, fuck it. Religion.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens.
Oh,
So,
they,
um, and we don't understand it. It's something's been passed down from generation to generation, and
it's a real thing.
you need to understand what you actually can verify, actually could look up, actually whatever, actually could tangible information and stuff that just feels good that you hear.
Right.
Control. We tend to follow what just feels good. And that's why I told my sister last week my whole thing for this year is understanding the why of things.
So stop feeling good, huh? Just
Yeah. Let's not
let's
feel
get down. Let's get down to the business of the business. Let's,
yeah,
let's see
let's
what.
question stuff. Um, if you question certain things, we wouldn't had people last week going marching up. It's a revolution. If they would question certain things, you wouldn't have that happen. So
It's really that simple.
yeah,
You got to ask yourself the question: why am I doing this? Or
mhm.
question everything. But
And I do that. Like I read something. No, somebody sent me a video, right? And
Hmm.
it was talking about there's a book in the early 1900s or something like that. It's a children's book, and it's called The Adventures of Baron Trump, right? And it was saying
Hmm.
this book is likely to what's going on now. The character is Baron Trump. He used to live in the Castle Trump. He became a president. He wasn't supposed to become a president and all this other stuff. And I had to look that up. I'm like, okay, I don't believe that. That's that just don't sound right because
Right.
this president's son name is Baron Trump. So and I looked it up, and that's actually a child's book.
Mm.
And it has similarities with he mentioned Russia in the book and all that other stuff. So similarities what's going on now. So I just everything I hear, I research or try to figure out if it's especially if it sound far fetched.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'm not taking nothing for nobody. For the face value. I'm looking it up.
It,
Um,
it it's getting tougher and tougher too to research. It used to be a time where you can go to the internet and find multiple sources and take all of them in and then make your own decision. What I'm noticing now, you try to research something on the internet, you got to go to the library now. Your first 20 choices are all the same thing, even though it's coming from different quote unquote sources. If
mhm,
you read what they're talking about, it's damn near word for word, each and every article that you read on that subject, word for word. The first 20 choices are easy. So
mhm.
now it's
Yeah, people are copying
you
each
gotta dig deep. Yeah, it's just copy and paste. It's plagiarism, but it's legal plagiarism, I guess. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, because everybody wants to have the answer. Everybody wants to be have clicks. That's what clickbait basically. They want to have
Well,
the click to get
yeah,
advertising money. Yeah,
that's what it came down to. I think it's for the clicks. So I mean, it makes it very difficult to actually, bring up multiple sources about any kind of subject matter. But
yeah.
that's
Now,
what the library is for.
I always look for the oldest thing
Right.
close to that time period. That's usually to me. That's usually the more trustworthy source because it happened during that time and they reported during that time. You know that. Okay, this ain't nothing. They just modified. This was actually it was in the moment when it
It was
happened.
taking place, right?
Like I was saying, I'm kind of happy to be alive right now to see with everything that's going on. Because think about telling somebody 2 generations from now. If I'm an old man telling somebody 2 generations from now, yeah, they stormed the Capitol. Dude had on antlers or horns, looked like Daniel Boone or something like that. Who looked
Right.
like he had a Halloween costume on. They had special needs people rolling through the
Yeah.
damn
And
Capitol
wheelchair.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
wheelchairs with no arms, no legs. They, I would sound like I got Alzheimer's.
It's
I
like
sound
this.
like a
Yeah. This
raving
dude,
maniac.
he needs to be committed. You
Yeah,
see this crap
exactly.
you're talking about.
Put
But
him in
that
that room. That nigga crazy.
and that's why like for events like that, I don't buy newspapers often, but for events like that, I buy a newspaper the next day. I make it
Okay.
a point to buy one newspaper every month. And
Mhm.
if it's a month where somebody's birthday comes, I'll buy it for that, on that day. But unless something special like that happens, then I go out there and buy another newspaper the next day after it goes down. But yeah, just so you can look back at it, just even a year out, and you're like, man, that's crazy as hell. Or if it gets to 10 years, I can look back and say, man, I remember that happened, 10 years ago. It's strange.
Yeah, I did that only 2 times. One time when Obama won, I bought that
Hmm.
newspaper because
I still have that one too.
we never thought we'd see that in our lifetime.
Hmm.
And when the Saints won the Super Bowl, I bought that
Oh
one.
my goodness. Uh, I need a drink now. Let me see a little bottle of that. Okay, let's carry on. Let's carry. That was
But
significant.
that's
I
the
should have.
that's the other one. That's the other one.
Okay, I mean, you just being honest. I don't think you were trying to take a shot there, but
No, no, no. It was no. When I thought about it, I knew what kind of reaction he was gonna give me. But I'm being honest. I've only bought 2 newspapers because of that reason. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did not get the one with the Saints when the Saints won the Super Bowl.
You didn't get that one.
No, I didn't. I didn't buy that one.
You
I
should.
do have the one of President Obama though, when he
Right.
was.
You missing a good article.
Apparently, I don't think they had that in Atlanta. I don't think they had that newspaper. So,
See, that's the hater shit right there.
nah, man, nah. That wasn't important enough to be printed in these newspapers
It wasn't.
in the fine Atlanta Journal Constitution.
It was important. It was an important event. But back back to code switching. So yeah, you should got it. But yeah, we have even at kids, right? We young black boys. I don't know what they do with white boys, so I'm not even I can't speak on it. But even with young black boys, there's kind of a programming going on there.
Oh yeah.
Have issues and they act a certain way, and they're getting better about it now. What I'm speaking about is not, is not something that's more prevalent. I don't think now. It might be, but I don't have any facts to back it up. But by telling a boy that he shouldn't do certain things, shouldn't express himself in a certain way. You sound like a little girl. You sound soft, different stuff like that. That's kind of code switching itself, because after a while, he's going to change up. He's going to hold everything in, and then you get the final product was a man that is not open to his emotions or feelings.
Right.
So that's part of that process. Like back in the day, you remember they used to have a vetting process, or a process of rites of passage. That's what I meant to say, rites of passage for men. They used to go out with the dad and go out with the brothers, the uncles, or whoever, and they used to either hunt, they used to fish, they used to do something.
It used to be hunting.
Yeah, and that would be something that would become, says you're a man. You're a man because you've done this. This rite of passage happened. And it was celebrated for that, right? They celebrated for doing these manly things. But right now we have to where it's looked down upon to, not really down upon, but it's looked different.
It's kind of looked down upon. It's kind of a negative light on it.
Man stuff, or you're acting a certain way, and it's not all inclusive or something, which we speak about this all the time, the biological
Differences.
differences. And they are. I mean, it's just something physical that we can see, we can talk about, we can touch. It's tangible stuff, the biological differences. But because of, like you said, the society we're in, the shaming and everything, and the cancel culture, we got people that won't even call out the biological differences, which is code switching in itself to me.
And I think that's very telling. That, I mean, what's next when you would no longer, if you're not willing to admit that somebody is one gender or another, or or that each gender has different characteristics,
Different attributes.
Yeah, absolutely. It was created that way for a reason. If everybody was the same, if it was nothing but males running around on Earth, it wouldn't be here much longer. Same thing if it was nothing but females running around on Earth. It wouldn't survive. We have these gender roles for a reason. It's not to put somebody down, or to lower someone else, to make somebody else feel good. No, everybody has a role, and each gender has a role in society, in nature. I'm gonna leave it at nature.
So and it was something that I saw, because I'm always multitasking. I'm looking at stuff and I'm reading stuff over here. I'm doing whatever, but it was talking about like us being human beings, right? The main difference is basically we can choose different, and we understand the aspect of time, right? That's the main differences biologically from us and animals. Other than that, there's not really much difference.
No.
The female plays her role, and which is biological. The male plays his role, and it's more of a dominant. Whatever, they fight for territory, they fight for the female. That is the biology of it.
Yeah.
We are not far from an animal, other than we can choose different. Like we can choose real different now. We could go to the doctor,
man,
all kind of stuff done.
We're gonna like, look, I'm gonna do this, doc, and they're like, cool, just
you got my money.
You get right. You spend this money, you can do whatever you want. You can have it any way you like, buddy.
and then
So it's
and then the fact of time, like we can grasp without. I don't even think like we even do this. We just live in the moment a lot of times, which is more animal like. But
more instinctual.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. But we can grasp the concept of time, the fact of this is going on at this time, and if stuff keep going on, then it's not going to last forever. Whatever's going on right now, it's just only a small snapshot of what's going on in my life.
Compared to, especially when you compare it to time, it's just like you said, it's just a glimpse
Um,
over a lifespan or whatever you want to call it.
I remember being in a certain place in my life where it was awful. It was like, man, damn, this shit is just like life is fucked up. Like if
Right,
I did not understand the concept of time, I would have jumped off a bridge. I would have been off somebody building or something, hung myself
right.
like that.
Because you thought that was it. That
Yeah.
you would have thought that was all there was to life.
Uh, what I was about to say. Back when they had the stock market crash, right? Way back in the day.
1920s.
Yeah, 1920s. Like people just ended it, like jumped off of buildings.
Yeah,
Not understanding the concept of time and whatever is going on it's gonna change. It's gonna have shifts. And I think, and I attribute that to code switching also because knowing that whatever I'm environment I'm in at the moment, right? It's going to change up, and I could come back and reassess and do something different and get past that.
right.
So that's also that's part of survival. Understanding uh, the way I think right now. I would not be thinking this way maybe 5 years from now.
Yeah.
I might be on a whole different level. I don't think I hope I don't get dumber, but I hope not.
I don't
But
know. You keep following them Saints, man. I don't
okay, so you're gonna take a time, you're gonna take a chance, take a shot. Okay. Uh,
know.
you know what?
That wasn't a shot. That's reality.
Playing right now. Where your team at? Anyway,
Yeah. Right. Right.
where your team? Anyway, but I'm at this level now, given time and given that I keep on reading, keep on doing stuff to occupy my mind, make my mind better,
Experience.
I'll be at a different place, and
Yeah.
I'll be able to, I'll be able to understand stuff on a more deeper level.
Yeah. I mean, and I look back a lot of times and I say, man, I mean, just maybe 2 or 3 years, how my thought process has changed just because of gathering more information, experiencing a couple of things different, changes your whole outlook on life or how you think about things. So that's a like I said, I hope I don't get any dumber, but that's a real concept is to continue to evolve mentally, I guess many ways, but mentally is my hope. That's my big focus is continue to train my mind to get better, stronger. Uh, it's no, I don't, I want to say right, but a lot of times there's no right answer. It's just what works for you. So
Yeah, no, and we don't we kind of lost that concept too. Like everybody wants to follow the same path.
yeah, follow
Hey,
the follower.
yeah,
Yeah,
follow, yeah, it's this way, and we don't understand. What I do in my household might not be good for what Eric does in his household. It might not.
absolutely.
It's just a different. There's a difference. And it's just we want to we want to have certain. We want to say something's right. We want to feel like we know. Uh, uh, hey, this not supposed to be that. Like the whole thing. Like when we had that show about polyamory, right?
Hmm.
It's so many people's like, yeah, you're not supposed to do, you okay. How you gonna tell somebody what's gonna work for them?
Right.
I was just working
If
for somebody.
if it's working for them, then let them have that. You just don't get into it if you don't think is right for you. But I never understood why people take such a. I mean, and I see behavior that can be detrimental to others, but that's something if they haven't found that, that's something they're gonna have to find out on their own. This, I don't know if that's my place when it's outside of my household to say, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Or, maybe it is. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
about being accountable.
the mean over what's in your household,
Right.
just like people with the whole abortion thing, right? The whole abortion thing is like, okay, how can you tell somebody what to do with their own body?
Yeah,
How
and that's a that's a multi-layered deal to me, in my opinion. But yeah, you're right.
But I mean, I understand the pro life, the pro choice argument. I understand that, but at
Hmm.
the very end, how can you tell somebody to do with your own body, because they were doing it anyway? They were
Right.
taking women was dying for this. Like women were taking hangers and doing taking all kind of concoctions and stuff, and they were dying. So
Yeah.
how can you somebody's gonna die, right? If it's a chance that somebody's gonna
Right.
if they keep doing it, how can you tell somebody? I'm gonna tell you that you can't do this with your body. Um, it's beyond me. I think as a society, I think we need to stop so much focusing on titles, putting people in certain places, and focus on being good people. Just focus on be good human.
Hey.
I'm a
Yeah.
good human. I understand. I don't share your thoughts about certain things, but you have a right because that's your life.
I'm not gonna try to hold you back because you think that or you
Yeah.
feel a certain way. And I think that's where the problem comes in when you decide that it's your duty in life to step in or intercede in somebody else's life to quote unquote get them on the right path or get them in the right direction. Then you've been an overstepper. You,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, overstepping your
you out
boundaries.
of yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to. Yeah, I don't want to be. Yeah, I can't. No more code switching, because I mean we've. I think any black man, and you know what, for the black young men. So I see a lot of black young men doing things. Let's do something that we might agree on. First of all, the whole clothing thing with the ass out and the damn pants down, right?
Now, yeah, let's talk about that. Do you consider that like a form of code switching for them to follow into that?
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
Okay, okay,
it's it's it. Yes and no. So, um, if you're following a certain fad because you see somebody that one of your stars do it and whatever.
that you admire or you look up to.
So I wouldn't say that, but if you're in a certain environment and maybe you're a little black boy in this environment, you see everybody else doing it, and
Mhm.
you wear a belt, you wear your pants up, and people talk about you and they talk shit about you, and to keep them from talking about you, next thing you know, okay, yeah, I do this, then they're gonna leave me alone.
Yeah,
That's a part of code switching, in the
yeah,
environment you're in.
yeah. Now I got my ass out with my
Yeah,
underwear showing.
hopefully no
That's
rub.
okay.
But it's because of you fear a certain outcome that you do
Hmm.
something different, and that's the code switching part of it.
I got
Uh gangs is a big situation. You've heard, I've watched documentaries. Have you certain documentaries where they say how they used to have to go through a gang territory to get to school? In order to
you.
go to school, they had to join a gang if you wanted to get to school and do whatever. So that's a part of code switching. They decided to become part of that environment in order to get whatever they wanted to get, or
Get the outcome that they're looking for.
they're looking for.
I got you.
That's the part of code switching of it. We, like I said, it's a survival mechanism. I think we do, and I used to, like, I was real big on doing that because in the household I had my brothers and sisters watching me, so I couldn't be a certain way in the household. I was
Right.
mindful that I had youngsters watching me, and I didn't want them to take certain especially my brother. So, like my
Mm-hmm.
sisters, that was something different. But my brother, I didn't want him to think that this is the way that is going on. They had a whole
Hmm.
different life, and I had a whole different life over here, to where I was out there and doing different things, and I never tried to bring them together.
Bring the two together, which
There
that's
was
probably a
those
good
that going
idea.
through my stuff, knows that going through my stuff, and knew I had a gun, and knew and saw bullets and stuff like that. But it was my gun. Um, but I didn't want them to influence them in that manner. So I was
Right.
mindful young. I was mindful to what was going on and how it could affect them. Growing up. I
So,
wanted the best.
you're the oldest.
Yeah, I'm the oldest. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah, and I
pretty
wanted
cool.
better for them. So, you know, me doing the things I did was felt I had the code switch to be, out there in the streets. I had sticky situations where I was able to, navigate through it because of the fact that I knew the environment I was in. I knew the role
Hmm.
I had to play, how I had to act, or whatever. Um, and so it was the key to my survival, actually. Like serious, death type shit. So, you
Right.
know, that was being able to successfully do that. Even in a job situation, being successfully turn that off and turn on something else that I needed to utilize in a job situation. Um, Dealing with you know the folks, the ones that pay my money, that give me the money, where the money reside, they give me the
Keep
check.
the check.
Yeah,
Get that
get the check
check.
coming in. So I had to do that in aspect. So I think we all do that. Like I said, as black folks, I
Yeah,
think
we do. We
not
do.
just
I and I had to start to question myself when I did, and I was like, why are you? You know, I believe in being as genuine as possible, but at some point I started, that's not being genuine when you feel like you have to act a certain way depending on the environment. And I guess certain situations call for certain behavior. You don't do certain things in certain situations, but at the same time, you shouldn't change, who you are. Now the aspect you're coming from, where you're looking at more so of a protection aspect to keep, you don't want your sisters or brothers to follow a certain path, then that's definitely understandable. But just in everyday society, because I think our topic, we were more discussing how it affects us when people see us a certain way. And when I say us, I'm saying black men,
Mhm.
how they see us in a certain light and how we try to accommodate the people to make them feel comfortable. When, like I said, it's not, we're not responsible for their comfort. That's something they have to deal with. And I'd be the first to admit that we probably had some bad examples out there to perpetuate how people feel about black men, but it's a lot of good examples out there that people tend to overlook just because it's not put in your face. It's not, it's not plastered all over everything.
Oh no, they don't want to show those images. They
No.
um very rarely do you see, positive black male figures that, has done stuff. I mean, every so often you might get here and there, and it's like this exemplary person. But I
Hmm.
know plenty of guys that do good stuff. Work
Yeah,
with kids and
absolutely.
all kind of other stuff, and they don't get none of that.
I mean, some of the most giving people. I mean, it's really interesting the narrative that the black man has versus what I see when I deal with black men one on one or in a group setting. It doesn't matter. I think I was talking to somebody earlier today about. I mean, I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan, but it, that brother's been on the straight and narrow his entire career. He could have veered off so many times before he even got to the NBA. And then since he's been in the NBA, you don't hear anything about scandal, anything like that. I mean, he just, but he's never really celebrated for that. A lot of times people look at him for his athletic ability or because he spent some money somewhere to look out for somebody else. But he had plenty of opportunity to go astray and chose not to.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like when I'm talking about LeBron James, somebody bring him up. Like as a player, I really don't care for him too much as a player.
Hmm.
But as a man, I respect him to the highest as a man.
Right.
Looking out for his community, um, giving back. Looking his friends that he came up with,
Yeah, he made sure all of them
you
got
know.
on.
mm. So as a man, look, I salute him as a man, but as a player,
Yeah.
not so much. I just, he does too much whining for me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Too
Well,
much.
that's the entire NBA though. But that's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
nother. That's a
but
whole nother topic.
yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But I'm just saying, I see a lot of times, they look over LeBron because he is LeBron. You
Hmm.
know,
I mean, when you're the biggest guy on the court, they kind of let you get beat up a little bit more than the other guys.
which I have not even. I don't even have a problem with LeBron on that. I have a problem with the NBA. I don't even watch basketball like that.
Mm-mm.
I
I
stopped
know.
watching basketball because of that. Like you have rules
Right.
for a reason, so that's
Enforce them.
enforce the rules. Yeah, just like society, right? We have rules in society. Enforce the
Enforce
rules.
them.
Don't
Yeah.
don't have rules for white people, black people. Brown, yellow, whatever.
And that's to me, that's where the whole idea of our republic in the United States is falling apart. We apply the rules differently depending on the situation.
Mhm.
All you gotta do is enforce the rule that the law states, and then everything will be good. I think,
Yeah,
or better.
yeah. You build a structure that everybody buys into. If they all buy into it, you have no problems.
There's no problems.
The problem is that you have one set of rule for one set of people, and anybody else that's outside, because they weren't. First of all, we wasn't. Be real. We wasn't written. The rules wasn't written for us. We wasn't considered.
No.
We wasn't considered to be human beings, when they made the original rules.
Mm-hmm.
So us coming along after the fact is, they use that against us, because a lot of times we don't know, we don't know what's needed of us. We don't know what's, the rules are. And I'm talking about not constitutional rights. We all know that.
No.
Constitutional rules. I'm talking about in different states, in different, jurisdictions, we don't know the rules. And they utilize that to enforce and keep imprison us, basically. So we just, if it wasn't like, if they wanted us here, okay, these are the rules. These, if they didn't want to do something to, a certain class of people, because it's not even say black, poor people, like even poor people. So if we want to, we don't want to keep poor people down. We want to help poor people out. We care about poor people. We want to let poor people know that this is what you need to do. We need to force these rules. Now, we're not talking about murder. We ain't talking about, everybody know murder's wrong.
Robbery.
Yeah, robbery. We not talking about that. We talking about other stuff, other rules that, Georgia has rules on the books that's crazy that they will enforce if they feel like it.
If they can, if they want to. They I think that goes for every state in the union.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have rules on the books that nobody. You can say something as simple as jaywalking. They very rarely enforce jaywalking, but it's an actual crime, and you can be charged. If they decide to do it, if police officer decides to
spitting on the sidewalk.
Yeah, spitting on the sidewalk is another one. You can be charged accordingly if it's somebody.
It's called sodomy in Georgia. Getting oral sex is sodomy.
Yeah, it's considered it's considered an act, unnatural sex act.
Yeah. So now everybody doing it on social media. You go on social media, you see everybody idolizing and talking about sodomizing and both the real sodomizing also. All kind of stuff. So like these laws being in the books. They need to come off the books. They need to revisit with laws.
So how do you enforce that? So you have to catch somebody. You have to go knocking on doors. Like, what y'all in here doing? What's going on? What's going on in here?
Take it out of my mouth. Take it.
Who being sodomized in here? Let me see.
No, I mean, but I'm just saying, like in certain instances, like
I think it's still illegal. I think sodomy is still illegal in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. So they'll throw it on there. They just throw it on there in order to add to whatever else
to heighten the crime, to make it that much more detrimental.
And I'm gonna tell you how this can play out, right? They do the no-knock warrants, right? So let's say I'm getting busy with my girl, right? Me and my girl getting busy. I'm in it.
You sodomizing her. Okay, go ahead.
She chose to, give me some oral pleasures, and they busted my door, whatever.
Why you sodomizing? Go ahead.
Why
that sound dastardly to be sodomizing.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm a black villain.
I'm a sodomizer.
and then now because they're in the wrong house, right? But we got to get them for something. So what they gonna get me for? Oh, he
was sodomizing this young lady. It looked like against her will. I can't tell if she was enjoying it or not. So
and that would be considered an act where I would have to report.
Yeah. And prove your innocence.
No, but I'll be a sexual offender.
Wow.
That's a sexual act. I will be a sexual offender.
You'll be on the list, huh? They look at the neighborhood list of like, dang, I know this guy.
I know this guy. Mm-hmm.
He stay too. He stay too. We need to move. We stay too close. I had no idea he was like that.
Yeah, or I'd have to move. I'm within so many. I don't know what it is because I've never been on the list. But yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But you can't be so close to a school, so I would have to move. So, like I said, there's certain laws like that they keep in the books just to mess with people, to have a reason to mess with people. So I was about to make a joke. I would have to code switch and not.
Code switching at his spine. He stepped
and not do that, and so I don't get caught up and be on the list. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I feel it's a key to one of the keys that black men could use for survival. Uh,
Mhm.
and youngsters need to know that you don't have to be your environment. You don't have to live the way you're living. If you're in your environment and other people are doing it, you don't have to do that. You can choose other stuff. We tend to feel that we are our environment.
Mhm.
Uh, who are we? I've been in an environment. I chose not to. I chose to do just enough. I mean, to live in an environment but not be in an environment. Um, which is code switching. You ever seen somebody they go to a job interview? Like I used to interview people, right,
Mhm.
on the jobs, and they come in there and I'm like, what the hell? Like it's the inability to switch up,
To switch it up,
yeah, to switch it up
so
to
you getting the raw, you getting the real.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
give,
Oh, this is me all day. Come in there, grabbing themselves and everything, to the side and stuff like, I'm like, okay, man, what the hell?
you
Like,
understand this is a job interview, right?
yeah,
You
it's
know.
a job interview. Your pants hanging off and stuff like that, and um, can't even and also with the vocabulary, right?
Mhm.
That's another way code switching. Like we black folks say, put my white voice on. When
Mhm.
you put your white voice on when you go to the job, you're dealing with certain people, so they can feel comfortable. Uh,
Mhm.
some of the youngsters they don't do that. They don't understand. I myself, whatever, and they limit themselves to just their environment, to making money, to whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that one day. For some reason, people like to, if it's a good thing, they like to label it a white thing. If it's bad, then it's a black person thing. I'm like, man, we're gonna have to fix
No, no,
that.
no. Blackmailed. That's
Yeah,
because they label blackmailed as blackmail that. Everything is black is like you said,
it's
it's nasty.
darkness.
Yeah, darkness, everybody. So it's just one of them things. So like I said, this was the topic because it followed up our first topic last week, to
I
where
got
people do in order to keep from to survive in the world, like black guys do in order to survive.
you.
Um, and even when they don't, I mean, hey y'all over there. Even when we watched George Floyd in that whole video, like he didn't do anything, to be. He's a big dude, right? He's a big dude, but
Oh
he didn't
yeah,
do anything to threaten anybody, act a certain way. Um, he was fearful of his life. But even though he didn't do anything, right, he still died because of him being a black man, you know, and whatever else is going in the background that we don't really know about. We probably will never know
yeah.
because
We
he.
never know. It's
So
it's 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 some underlying story to that whole
yeah,
scenario. But if you weren't there, if you're not a part of it, it's hard to know exactly what went, what took place. But
but
it's interesting.
yeah. So you have anything else? Because I don't.
Nah, I'm getting my vocabulary up. I mean, because you
Cool.
done schooled me
Switching out.
these last 2 weeks with the code switching, and then the give it a Negro word again, sir. What was it?
Phobia.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get my
But that's my
vocabulary up.
but that's my own word. So
You created that word,
I
so that's a
created the
little
word. So
different.
yeah, that's different. But
I caught
you
myself doing some research on code switching, but they didn't have it in this
in that term.
terminology.
Okay.
It was more so of being able to being a linguist, pretty much being able to go back and forth with different languages
Yeah,
in
that's
an
lingo.
instance.
Yeah. Look in the Urban Dictionary. Look up code switching because that's
Okay,
where you find it in pertaining to black people, or Google black people code switching, and you'll have a whole bunch of information about it.
I
Um,
got
can't remember the show, but they touched on this show. I watched too
you.
much stuff, and yeah,
Was it Blackish? That's right, something
no, it's not
Blackish.
Blackish. I've never watched Blackish actually. I
I
watched
I
Black
didn't watch it for a
Black
long
AF.
time.
I watched the Black AF, whatever, but I never watched Blackish. So
Yeah, I didn't watch it for a long. Somebody kept telling me to watch it, then I binge watch. I say binge watch. I watched about 3 or 4 episodes. It was enough for me. I don't. I'm not a big TV person anyway, so that was more than enough. But I mean, it was slightly entertaining. That was I saw. So, but
no,
it,
he
it to
touches
me,
on a lot of that stuff though,
but
and
it still enforces stereotypes, and I guess that's my thing is just breaking out of these stereotypes. No matter how much of a positive light they try to put things in, a lot of times they still fall back into these same stereotypes when
No,
they're
I think he does.
describing black people.
Kenya Burris, I think he does it to like pick fun at certain stereotypes. Like he does
Mhm.
it for that reason. Like he makes light on it, but it's to show people. Because I mean, even with us doing what we're doing, right? If I come on here and I'm like, you can't do this, you can't do, or this is what they, and he think this. If I just like direct something in somebody's face and push it, they be like, oh, this nigga's mad. This
All right, he's an angry Negro.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's an angry Negro. Yeah, and if you put jokes behind the humor or whatever, you're more receptive. People are more receptive
yeah.
too. So
And I think the Boondocks did a great job of doing that.
yeah,
I
love
think they because they tried to show many sides of the scale whenever they had a show. I thought they did a great job. I wish that show.
Martin Luther King was still alive.
Oh man, yeah, they got some intriguing content out there. Every once in a while I get bored, I go find me some Boondocks to watch and laugh a little
It's a
bit.
classic. It's a classic.
Man,
He
man,
was supposed to be coming back out. I don't know what happened, but
yeah,
he needs to. All this stuff going on. They have some good stuff. We have
yeah.
a bunch of good stuff that he could use. Good content. There's a gang of good content out there. Like, like this shit that happened. Like, just think about Riley, right? If that was black
Mhm.
people up there, granddad,
Right,
just think about. I could just see what would happen.
absolutely.
Not Riley, Huey. I'm sorry, Huey. Huey would have been or
Mhm.
whatever. And Riley be like, yeah, I'm going up there, Dad. And I'm going, Granddad, I'm going up there and storm the Capitol. I won't be
Right.
with them. So it's a bunch of stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm code switched out.
Okay. Go
Yeah.
switch style. Well, hell, that's the end then. So we're gonna
Go
follow up
watch
next week with something different, with another intriguing terminology. What you got
uh
in mind?
no, I was talking about last week, talking about what happened last week. That's what I was gonna
Oh,
talk about doing. And I'm gonna
okay,
put some videos together just to kind of lighten it. It's not gonna be anything deep or whatever. It's gonna be some ignorant shit because there was a lot of ignorance going on.
well, yeah, it was, and I don't know, man. It's just
No, it's
I always got that question. What did you think was going to happen? So that's how I look at that. But yeah,
they
we'll
stormed
get
the
on
camp.
that.
They was ready to take
I
hostages.
mean, yeah. Now I believe in the I'm a originalist,
Mhm.
and that is the people's capital. But it's a way to do everything, and I don't know if that was quite the way.
No, and I understand you, but that was a closed. It was closed because they were doing what? They was voting. It was
They
closed.
were yeah they were what they call it, certifying the was it certifying
Yeah,
the election? I can't remember what they
certifying
call it.
the president or whatever. It was closed to the public. Put it that way.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
very closed to the public. They wasn't supposed to
well,
be there.
right, right,
They had
but
barricades.
yeah, barricades. But
They couldn't let them in, though. But I mean, still,
I
there was
was gonna say they had very easy access,
yeah,
so
very easy access.
which I think is
Sure.
strange. But you know, let me stop scratching on camera, man. They like, man, he must be coming off
He on that
a
bench.
heroin,
He,
a
he,
heroin binge. Yeah, nah,
that's damn
just
Falcons.
dry skin.
That Falcons not playing the game.
Nah, just a little dry skin. It's just 32
Excellence
degrees
in the
outside.
community. They get black
Yeah,
folks.
eczema is real.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it was 28 degrees when I woke up this morning, so that'll do it every time.
But
But
yeah,
man,
we'll be
good.
back next week, and I'm gonna have videos and stuff, and we're gonna talk
Okay.
about and poke fun at the foolishness, man.
I'm gonna try to find me some time to grab me a little bit more and look at some more of these videos because I only seen a couple, and there was the one of the lady getting shot, the guy breaking window with the police shield, and that might be it. But I'm gonna try to look at a couple more
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see.
that's when she got shot. Actually, yeah, when he broke the
So that
window.
was the same scenario when
I think
when
so.
the
She's
window
the
was.
first one in. If that's
You know what
because
I heard? I heard an idiot say, "I don't worry about it. Keep going. That's just a flashbang." And I think I heard that correctly. I'm gonna have to double check the video, but I'm like, no, that's real. She fell for a reason. That wasn't no flashbang. She
and
she
and
dropped to the ground.
and she was like, I'm okay," and no, you not okay.
Mm-mm,
You're not okay. Yeah.
mm-mm. She ended up losing her life. So nah, she definitely wasn't okay. But yeah, let's jump on that next week, man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
we'll talk about that.
prepared.
I'm not even gonna go into that conversation because I had something to say, but we'll talk about it next week. It'll be yeah.
But,
That's not funny, but it's
right.
tied into that.
And we'll be back in studio together if you're happy next week. So
Yeah. I think you safe enough to come back over here. Like once again, anybody that like has a topic wants to hear us talk about whatever it is, from a black man's perspective,
I want to get on here and debate it.
or give your point because we're open to people coming on and giving the viewpoints, whatever the topic is. Just reach out, ADHD Hour on Facebook, or just put it in this video here. Put in your comments in this video. Um, that's it. I'm gonna have you'll be in the new studio, and I'm gonna have something probably new next week. So
That's what I'm talking about. A new studio, man. I like new shit, man. I tell you,
nice and shiny and stuff.
nice and shiny, man. It work better most of the time too.
Yeah,
That do
hopefully.
stuff.
Yeah, hopefully do. Yeah,
You look professional as hell in there, man. I'm checking you out, man. You look like
I'm looking at I need to switch my cameras up because I don't like the way the camera looking. That's why I've been looking at different stuff. Looking
different angles and stuff. Yeah, it's that camera, man. It's tricky as
grainy.
hell. So
It's grainy. So it might be the light, and I'm gonna figure it out. I'll figure it out.
I got you.
Change it up. But anyway, all right,
All
brother.
right, next week, man.
Next week. See you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I'll see y'all next week. Leave comments, like, share, whatever. See you next week on Black Male Podcast. Peace.